All right, let's try that and see. There we go. All right. Actually, let me get into that real quick. Whew. Hold on, everyone. I am fixing the stream real quick. Thumbnail going. There we go. All right, we're just gonna wait for Nick to pop in. All right. We'll wait for him to pop in, and then we'll get the show started. Gaming. Hey, we're live.
Nice.
I don't know what happened. Guess I just had to start a new stream for whatever reason.
That's weird.
Who knows? Tweet us out.
Tweet us.
Tweet us.
All right. We're good.
All right. Get it started.
Let's do it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with the Bros Cast, episode 260. My name is Harrison, and I am joined by my brother Nick, as always. Nick, how are you doing, buddy, on this fine Monday?
Doing pretty good on this fine Monday. A little tired.
Sweet.
Yeah, but I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, a little tired, but that's all right. But yeah, we're gonna talk about I think so every Monday, unless one of us misses the episode or something like that, we're gonna be talking about and kind of reviewing, giving our thoughts on the latest Last of Us episode. So full spoilers for that episode when we get to it. And we'll try our best to not spoil the actual game itself. Because it could be hard to talk about some of that stuff before certain events happen, but we'll try our best to not do that. But yeah, before we dive into that, let's Nick, how was your week?
Week was good. I watched the Wicked movie on Friday.
Okay.
Very good.
I thought you'd already seen that movie.
No, I saw the play.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I was in New York. Yeah. Just as good, if not better. Gives a lot of emotional context and all that good stuff. So fully recommend this movie. It's a really, really good. It flew by. It was like 2 hours and 40 minutes, but it really did fly by. And I'm not a big musical person, but this one spoke to me, man. It was good.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And then
I've heard good things about it.
Yeah. And then after that, we, for whatever reason, started Twilight, rewatching the very first movie.
Okay. My wife
just
started rewatching those a couple weeks ago.
It's such a banger. The first movie it's so good, man.
Arguably one of the best soundtracks for like movies, period.
Yeah.
Like the soundtracks are incredible.
I mean, the song during the baseball scene is still just one of the best.
It's probably
One of the
one of the
best
worst,
songs.
like, scenes ever in terms of, like, just CGI and just, like, overall just kind of
Yeah,
how lame it is, but it still works, man. It's still fire.
but, like, man, there's, like, those first like 15, 20 minutes of the movie where Bella goes to the school and she, like, kinda sees Edward and he, like, gets whiffs of her
Yeah.
when he's, like when they're the class it looks like he's, getting sick. It's just man, it's so funny. I just
Well, it's
love
like,
how
that and, like I mean, they don't really make these movies anymore, but that one parody movie they made for Twilight,
oh,
hilarious.
yeah. Was
I
that
can't remember what it's called, but, like, the
that
one
wasn't
where
a superhero movie, was it?
um, no, 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 because I think this was, like, a dedicated one for just Twilight.
Oh, okay.
But, like, the woman they're,
It
like,
wasn't like
running
a
on,
scary
like, a
movie, okay.
treadmill and stuff, like, it's hilarious. It's so funny.
Yeah, that movie's it's really great. I just something special about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, weekend was good. Hung out with some friends, relaxed a little bit, watched the Masters, watched Rory McIlroy finish the Grand Slam and win the Masters. So
That's his
he's
first one, right?
yeah, first Masters.
Yeah.
But he's won like all of the other majors, like all the other 3 majors. So he just needed to win this one to get his like career Grand Slam.
Yeah.
And he hasn't won a major since
It's been a long
2014. So it's been
time,
11
yeah.
years. Yeah. And he's so good. Like he always
He's al
places high.
he's always up there, and then, like, something happened. Like, I saw him miss that one putt. I can't remember what hole it was, but you could just tell he's like, "Oh my god," because the other guy was, like, coming back too. So,
Well, he had a birdie putt on 18 to win, and he missed it and got a par, and then he had to go into a playoff with
maybe that's what I saw. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
with one of the guys that had already finished, and then he beat him on the next hole.
Okay.
So it was, I mean, it was a pretty emotional moment, just like
Yeah,
just his reaction and his celebration. So it was really cool.
that's cool.
Yeah. What about you? How's your weekend?
It was good. It was really good. Weather started getting a little cold again where I'm at.
I know it's a little chilly,
A little
a little
chilly,
nipply
but
out.
it definitely warmed up today, which was nice. But yeah, it was good. It was a good weekend.
Nice.
Ready for I'm off on Friday, so got a little short week this week. So I'm excited to have Friday off, and then we don't have the kids, or our kids are in the beach with our parents.
Mhm.
So we're kind of kid free right now, just kind of chilling. Went to a Mexican restaurant yesterday, got some margaritas. That was
Oh,
delicious. A little
some
ACP,
cervezas.
great.
Nice.
It was
What
awesome.
are you doing anything Friday, or are you just taking the day out?
Well, Brittany's got to work. I think we might go out Friday night because the kids are coming back Saturday, like sometime in the afternoon. So we might go out and do something Friday night, um, and hang out. But yeah, it was a good week. It was good.
Oh yeah. All right, shall we dive into Last of Us season 2, episode 1?
Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, again, full spoilers for just this episode. Obviously, we don't know what happens in the next one. We can guess what's gonna happen. But yeah, Nick, I mean, how did you enjoy this episode?
I think overall the episode was really good. I do want to start at the beginning because it was so weird to me that they opened with Abby
Yeah,
and her giving a lot of exposition and explanation for why she's doing what she's doing
yeah,
when that wasn't revealed until later on in the game. And I feel like there was a certain shock factor uh, that made that moment more impactful. And I don't know how it's going to translate now that they've already revealed the motive
yeah,
for why she's pursuing Joel. And like the ending scene of this show of this episode where it shows them kind of looming on their town,
yeah,
I felt like that would have been enough to set up at least some questions for the uninitiated viewer that hasn't played the game. Like, oh, who's this new group? It seems like they're, looming over
yeah,
Jackson. It must spell something bad. But
yeah. I think
I
I,
don't know.
I
What do you
think I
think?
was a little bit less. I don't know. I felt like because I didn't like The Last of Us 2. Like I just did not like. I thought the structure of that story was just all over the place. Like I don't know. I really need to go back and replay it to get new feelings on the game, but I just felt like on what happens, like I don't know. It's hard to talk about without spoiling anything, but I just felt like the structure and the storytelling of the last was just kind of like the scene with the like the dance, whatever. Like that scene isn't revealed till the end of the game to find out like what actually happened that night. I don't know. I feel like they're pacing wise. I feel like it's really good. I feel like they're doing a good job of just setting up all the characters. And
Mhm.
yeah, that particular scene is probably going to be less impactful for those who have played the game. But I'm very curious because I'm watching this with my wife to see how she reacts.
Does she know
If
what's gonna happen?
she does not,
Okay.
so very very curious to see what her thoughts are. Um, if that comes to fruition, which I'm assuming it is.
I bet
But
it'll yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, and like so what I really liked about this, and again, it's hard to talk about, and maybe we'll be able to talk about it next week. Um, I feel like they did a really really good job, and maybe I'm just misremembering from uh the game with Joel, but I feel like they do a really good job of okay, it's been 5 years since since season one.
Yep.
Um, Joel is really more of like a laid back guy now. Like he's not really going out there and doing um you know scavenging and stuff like that. Like he's kind
Trolls
of
and runs, yeah.
yeah, he's got more of like a, I'm not gonna say like political, but like he's in charge of like maintaining and rebuilding and stuff like that. So that particular scene that happens in the game, that makes more sense on why his guard was down. And I just didn't in the again, it's hard to talk about, but in the game, like it really made me mad because I felt like that's not how Joel would react. Um, but then building this up in this episode, it seems like that makes more sense for that to happen in the future.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of lived a cushier life for the past
Yeah.
5 years, and his time there has been more about social relationships than it has been
Yeah.
about survival. So of course you're gonna let your guard down. He's in a more bureaucratic position now where he's, making decisions on behalf of the people at Jackson.
Yeah.
And I think yeah, you're right. Like that was really cool how they set that up, and like even establishing a relationship with Dina as
Yeah.
well, because like that I don't think that really existed between like that relationship between Joel and Dina existed in the game, but this
Not
one it
really.
seems
Yeah.
like she's got him pegged. She kind of knows she knows a lot about him. She knows like ins and outs, and seems like they have a an interesting relationship. And
Yeah.
as a side note, I
Yeah.
love how they treated Dina.
Yeah, I love Dina. Like I love her
Yeah,
personality in the show. I mean, she was great in the game, but like Ellie right now is so almost insufferable a little bit. Like she's very annoying. And I get it, but like I don't know, as like a 19-year-old, we're still having these like kind
yeah.
of
It's a little
like it's like a little
outburst and
yeah, it's a little strange for a 19-year-old, but Dina is such a likable character and they do such a great job with her. Um
yeah. And
so yeah,
I like seeing Ellie with Dina and
yeah,
seeing like how they communicate when outside of like the norm where Ellie is, fighting against authority and trying to have
yeah,
her own way. It's like they have their own established relationship and they have their own way of communicating, which was really cool in like the stalker scene where they were
yeah.
or the clicker scene where they were planning on how they were gonna attack the clicker. Like all
Yeah.
that stuff was really well done, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that can also be like kind of the teenager angst thing because it's like, okay, like you're not supposed to like like why on earth would you follow a clicker or whatever
Right.
into this building where you don't know kind of the landscape of it. Um, is very like kind of naive of them, and maybe
Yeah.
someone like Joel and Tommy who definitely wouldn't have done that. And even the people in the party were like, yeah, let's just report this and go back. Um, So that obviously will probably get them in trouble in future episodes. But yeah, I mean, I really like you said, I like the bond between Ellie and Dina, and yeah, and establishing that relationship with Dina and um, Joel is awesome.
Yeah. And then, and again, I might be misremembering, but setting up the stalker and then her reporting back to like the council
Yeah,
and saying, "Hey, like this is an abnormality. They seem to be getting smarter."
yeah,
And like that sets up a whole new threat and a whole new precedent for this season,
yeah,
which they have a lot of like they have a lot of cool creatures in season or in part two that I'm interested to see them adapt. But the stalker is definitely one of the like the
yeah,
one of the more interesting ones that like kind of throws everything on its head. It's like, oh, this thing is like hunting you now.
yeah,
So
exactly.
it's cool how they set that up with
And
the
I
council.
love like when they were in the council and the one lady was I think Tommy's wife. She's like, yeah, Dina was totally lying, but I believe Ellie.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was great. And
Yeah.
then like I love like I know so I know they're kind of straying away from the game a little bit. But like the moment Joel has with the psychiatrist and
Mhm.
which I don't remember the Eugene thing at all.
No,
So
that I don't think that was in the game. He in the game, Eugene was mentioned, but he had died of natural causes. He was like one of
yeah,
the only people there that died of natural causes. So I
okay,
think the reason they added that was to add some baggage to
yeah,
Joel and share that he's not clean.
yeah,
What he's done is not clean, and
exactly.
your past can come back to haunt you in different ways.
And man, Pedro Pascal is such a good actor because like that entire
Yeah,
scene
that
just of him
performance was so
like
good.
when she was asking like there's something else and he's just like trying to figure out how to say it and then him just tearing up and then he just stands up and she kind of like jolts back a little bit and he's like I
Yeah.
saved her or whatever. Like so good, man. So
It was
good.
it was a really good scene. Like both of them were so good. And that's one of the things that like I hope they keep adding like little like nuanced scenes like that that give
Yeah.
more character to Joel and hopefully they do the same for Ellie and kind of show her in a different light outside of just the 19-year-old that's always battling against everyone.
Yeah.
And I, I don't know. I feel like that's something they kind of missed last season. They never really gave her those kind of moments, and I'm hoping they do. And I'm sure they will in season two.
Yeah. And they try. I mean, they try really hard, like to establish that she's like kind of a badass with when she was fighting.
Yeah.
Uh, I can't remember the guy's name, but and that's probably like I don't know. There's so many people online that are like just hating on Bella Ramsey. I think she's fine as Ellie. The only problem I had, and maybe is why people are suggesting they should have had like a little bit of an older actress play her. It's just like she doesn't quite seem like she's gonna be that like scrap. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
but
people were
like
kind of saying the same thing about Abby not being this like bulked out
in which
character like she is in the
and
game.
she was and she in that first or that the first scene we see her, yeah, she's very, very scrawny. But 5 years have passed and we see her again and she's got winter clothes on. So maybe she does like bulk up like she does in the game.
Yeah.
We don't know that yet, but so yeah, I mean, there's little things like that with the casting, where I could understand what people are upset, but whatever. I right now like the first season was so good, and like I felt like the casting was awesome, and everyone did a really really great job. So I'm trusting the process of how they're going to tell the story. Um, but yeah, and then I guess the towards the end of like the episode ends with that drain, that sewage line or whatever it is, and there's like
Cordyceps kind
the
of
cordyceps coming out. So I don't remember that in the game
no,
either. I think
I
that's
don't think
something
that
they
was in the
added in.
game. And I think that is related to when Ellie was carving her stomach to make it look less like a bite, and then
Oh,
she put the knife in the sink, and
okay.
it
You
might
think the
have gone down
water?
the drain. Yeah, the cordyceps might have gone down the drain
Oh, I
and
didn't think
gotten
about
into
that.
this, and maybe that's like because they kept showing like a big horde
Yeah,
that's coming towards Jackson in the trailers. Maybe that's what brings them in since like they're all connected. I don't
connected.
think that's in the game, but like
No,
in
it's
this
not.
version of it, they're all like connected and can
Yeah,
communicate with each other. So
which is interesting. It's very cool. I think something a little bit different
yeah,
than the game. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a great start. I thought a lot of people complained that it was a little bit slow, but like I felt like we kind of needed the backstory a little bit on what's going on. I mean, it's been 5 years since the first season ended, in their timeline. Um, I felt like it was a great. We got a little bit of action. We got a little bit of everything.
yeah. I mean, it's gonna be hard because the season it's 7 hours of content in total,
Yeah.
and the second game, even the first half of the second game is well over 12 hours. I mean, in total, the second
Well,
game's
I
like what,
think they
25
said
hours?
like it's going to be broken up into 2 seasons or
Yeah,
two.
which makes sense. But like even with that, there's a lot of stuff that they're not going to cover. They'll
Yeah.
glaze over, but I think they're going to build up the important moments and the moments that really resonated with the
And if they're
players.
and if they're breaking it up into two parts or to two seasons, we may not get that big moment until maybe the end of this season.
No,
Because
I think it'll be.
you think it'll be
I
next
think it'll
episode?
be. No, I think it'll be episode 3. But I think the
Okay.
second episode at the end of it, it's going to set it up.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get into like real spoiler territory for 1 second. So
Okay.
everyone close your ears. But I think it's gonna be reminiscent of The Walking Dead, where they have everyone lined up
Yeah.
and Negan is picking his person. I think it's gonna like kind of give that energy where like it ends on that note.
I was thinking something similar. I was thinking, and again, this is spoilers, but I was thinking maybe it ends with Abby having the shotgun and she shoots, and then it cuts,
Mm,
and then it picks up, and then
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's when everything happens.
It's gonna be crazy though.
I'm not ready to.
I'm
I'm not ready to relive that moment again, but we'll
and
see.
honestly, I'm so interested in like the viewership from that week to the next week. And,
Yes,
like, if it's gonna drop off a cliff like
that's
it
why
did.
I was wondering if they were going to save that big moment until the end of this season. Um, but we'll see. I mean, we know it's inevitable, so how they pull it off, we'll see how it happens.
Yeah. I mean, overall, the episode was great.
Yeah,
I
I can't
still
wait,
think
man.
the
It's such a like they nailed like the just the vibe of the game like so well,
Mhm.
like just with the costume design and the music, of course. Oh man,
Throwing the bottle.
it's so good. Yeah, the little hint of like throwing the bottle, like oh man,
Yeah,
it's so cool.
it's a cool nod.
Yeah,
Yeah, I still love the first episode of season 1 so much. I think
yeah.
that one's still, like I think I still hold that one higher than I do this one, but this one was really great.
It's hard to top an episode where it starts from like from ground, from day
I
zero.
mean, you and I, we're fans of Day
We're
Zero, man.
suckers for that. Yeah,
I could watch an entire movie that's like different people's perspective on day 0 of a zombie outbreak,
yeah,
and I'd be
yeah.
happy.
Oh, that would be incredible. Like, yeah, give me a spinoff like season of this show for like 3 or 4 episodes, like 30 minutes each, and just have all the characters that you meet or know about, and just have that would be incredible. I absolutely love stuff like that.
Yeah, like have like a side series dedicated to the who's it? Bill and Ted. What was the
Bill, yeah,
some?
and see and that's where I've like over the years, like I have like begged companies like, okay, we don't need to wait 5 or 6 years in between like a major game. Give us like a small spin-off title for like $20. Make it really tight, and it could be like
Yeah,
a side story for a character that you meet in the game or something. Um, I don't know why companies don't do that more often. I understand that you have to set aside a part of your team and you got to spend money, but I feel like that would be such a good idea, especially for a zombie game.
yeah. Ah, that'd be so good.
So yeah, but yeah, I'm very excited. So it's always I always look forward to like watching something really, really good on TV. So just makes Sundays even better now.
It does.
All right, Nick. Any last thoughts on Last of Us?
No, I mean we'll see what happens next week.
We'll see what happens. It could be a big one.
Yeah,
could be a big one. All right, well let's talk about you played some more Xenoblade.
I finished the campaign.
Okay.
Finished the main story of Xenoblade at like 53 hours, and I still have the epilogue to do, which I think is another 5 to 10.
Oh wow,
5 to 10 hours, and it takes place in a completely new region. So excited to keep playing that. I'm going to put it down for a little bit, I think, just because I put so much time into it so quickly, and I burn myself out a little bit. But I still really love this game. I hold it in very high regards. It's still under 3 for me. I still think 3 is my absolute favorite Xenoblade game.
3 is great.
But X is pretty special. It has, I've said this before, but really, really great side content, really great progression. There's just so many mechanics in this game to dive into, and you can really like create your own ecosystem kind of. But yeah, really, really enjoyed this game, and I'm excited to get back into it. I'm like a sliver of me is like waiting for
Switch 2
the performance patch for Switch 2.
Yeah.
Like maybe I should save the epilogue for that.
It's got to be coming. I bet they'll announce it.
I think so.
But let's talk about the big release of last week. South of Midnight. Nick, I don't know about you, but I'm loving this game. I'm in chapter 4, so I'm dealing with Two-Toe Tom.
Oh yeah,
the giant alligator or crocodile. Is it crocodile?
Yeah, I think crocodile.
Yeah, one of those two. Yeah, man, I love the combat is very, very mid. It's not anything to write home about. But everything else in this game is hitting. Like I love I'm a sucker for like clicking in the right stick and you have like a navigation, and it makes like sense towards like the story because it's like the strands telling you where to go, and then like they'll even say Hazel, and then it'll like be multiple voices saying it. That's really cool. So I always do that, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go the opposite way of wherever that strands goes, so I can find a health upgrade or something like that. Absolutely love stuff like that. It's an extremely linear game, with areas that you can
with offshoots
sort of break off the path there. But yeah, love stuff like that. The traversal is fun with all the different the glider you get, the hook shot or whatever, it's grapple hook or whatever, you kind of something like that. And then the music is so good. Like it really, really clicked when I was climbing up the tree man. And it's telling the story of like, oh my god,
and it was like an actually like a vocalized song.
Dude,
that hits so hard
good
in this game.
And
it makes sense, and like in the context of the story too. It's giving the story of what happened, and it's like this like kind of like southern twang music, and it just fits so well. I love that. It reminds me of like Alan Wake 2 with the music between chapters, or like that music chapter itself. I man, every time I hear like a fully voiced song that like lines up with gameplay, I'm just such a sucker for it. It works really well.
This is the exact game that I needed right now. I was starting to get pretty burnt out on like open world, which is why I set Xenoblade aside to play this. This is like the perfect, like not too difficult. Like I said, the combat is like you go into these little arenas and you fight 2 or 3 enemies maybe, and then you gotta, I don't know, kill like the little bud, and then it'll like repopulate the area with flowers and stuff. And the game looks beautiful. I
mean, it's not like an overly easy game. It does get more difficult as you go. Like
you're not just button mashing. You do have to like strategize a little bit with dodging and stuff, but
because you have like you have your push ability. You can like push enemies away. You can pull enemies in, and then kind of like freeze them with your strand, with your weave thing. And then you have like the weave ability where you can freeze people. And then there's another ability. I don't know if you have it yet. Do you have 4 abilities?
I think it's just a 3.
Okay, I won't spoil it, but there's
Okay.
there's a 4th ability that you get. It's
Okay.
not anything crazy, um, but it does add like a new gameplay mechanic outside of combat.
Okay.
That's not like
Cool.
just traversal related. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um,
This game is real special. I think if you
yeah,
have Game Pass, I think it's an absolute must to play. You just or just try it out. Just the story
it's only
alone.
$40, I think.
It's only $40 too, which I appreciate Xbox and having these, we talked about it before, but like utilizing all the different, tiers of
Pricing, I
a
guess.
pricing. Yeah, a
Yeah.
pricing and we talked about that with Nintendo, I think last week, but that's very smart. That I don't think they could get away with charging $70 for this game. I think 40 is the sweet
No.
spot for this.
Yeah, I
So,
think it is, and, so I'm at, like, chapter 9 at
okay,
this
so you're
point,
pretty
so
deep in.
yeah, pretty deep into it, probably 7-ish hours into it at this point.
Yeah.
I think there's something like 14 or 15 chapters, so it's not super long.
No, I
Um,
think I heard it's like 10 to 13 hours, something like that.
yeah, yeah. But, I mean, I don't know, I've paid $70 for a game that's 10 hour I mean, Callisto Protocol, I mean, I know we split that one, but that one was under
Yeah.
10 hours.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, I don't know, like, whether a game is worth it is always so subjective, but
Yeah,
this is a really
absolutely.
great Game Pass game regardless, like,
Yeah.
it's one I might not have tried because it it has it has a 78 on Metacritic, it's not an incredible score, but it being on Game Pass, it's so easy to jump in and like it seems like a decent amount of people are playing because I'm not always getting a diamond achievement
Yeah.
when I when I unlock something. So
Yeah,
that's an indicator for me that
it's always tough to judge that, especially if it's on Game Pass and yeah, it's like it's been out for a couple of days and you get like to level 2 or and it's like die and you're like, is
it's like,
anybody
oh
playing this
god.
game?
Yeah, that's not a good sign. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think the way because like they have like Two Toed Tom that kind of like weaves in through a few chapters, and then they have other kind of like larger folktale
Yeah.
monsters that they weave, and you like play a few chapters, and you do the thing where you're kind of like what is it? You're kind of like accessing their memories. You're like destroying the strand, like you're getting their memories.
You're like helping them heal or something like
Yeah,
that.
helping them
And yeah.
heal.
Yeah.
So so
It's
that
kind of
kind of
reminiscent of
persists.
like Psychonauts in a way with like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
going
yeah.
into people's minds and like trying to help them out. Um yeah,
It's actually pretty
this game
reminiscent of Psychonauts.
yeah. This game is really cool. I like it a lot.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that I don't like about it so far, and you've talked about it, but yeah, the combat just isn't. It's not super exciting, and
Yeah.
it's not like you can't just button mash your way through it. You have to think, but you know, each time you go into an arena, you kind of know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but
Yeah, well last week I was listening to the Kind of Funny podcast and like Greg Miller was talking about he turned combat completely off. I'm like, that's kind of wild to me. Like,
yeah,
but
because you're kind of robbing yourself from that experience, especially as it relates to the upgrades that you get and using those upgrades. So I don't know if I would recommend going that far as to turning off
yeah.
a portion of the fundamental of the game, but uh,
Yeah, because
to
then
each
at that
their own.
point it's like just watch like a Twitch stream or YouTube video or something like that. But
Yeah, it's like, what are you really?
yeah,
You're
like you
you're
said, to each their
exploring
own.
a little bit, but that's
Yeah.
kind of it.
But yeah,
I,
this I think this game I highly recommend it. I think it's great so far.
yeah,
Definitely gonna finish it. It's really cool. We don't get a lot of like games set in like the deep south, like the Bayou type of stuff. I mean, like Resident Evil 7 was something not similar, but like that was set like
yeah,
in the Bayou.
the
There's
backdrop.
some
Yeah,
other games that are, but we just don't get a ton of stuff like this, and it's really unique too with like its design and having the kind of the janky. I don't know how you like the stop motion
yeah, kind of stop motion.
animation. Really cool.
Yeah, and the story's really great too.
Yeah, story's excellent.
Yeah,
Like it just starts off cool, like the hurricane, and then
yeah, the
yeah,
hurricane's awesome.
it's so cool, man. It's so cool.
Yeah,
So yeah,
fully recommend this
definitely
game.
yeah, fully recommend. Um, All right, Nick, let's dive into what our question of the week is. You wanna read that off?
All right, so I've been thinking. So with with like Tears of the Kingdom, the first trailer kind of showed more of the same, right? They
Yeah.
showed the Sky Islands a little bit, right? But it wasn't until the deep dive that we got more information on the building mechanic.
Yeah.
And then and even then they didn't show anything about the depths, and that wasn't
Exactly. That was a
known until you
complete
got into the game.
surprise.
Complete
Like,
surprise.
they showed it in the trailers, and we're like, "Oh, that's just like a cave or something like that." And it's like, no, there's caves in this game, but then there's also a whole entire
Whole
it
world
was
down
pretty
there.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So my question is, for the upcoming games like Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Metroid Prime 4, where we've seen these games, they've been revealed, there has to be another surprise for each of these games. And I asked this specifically because we have the Mario Kart World Direct coming up on Thursday,
Mhm.
and Nintendo's kind of they've been talking a big game on how
Yeah.
this iteration is going to be worth the $80 price tag. It's going to be the like one of the most content packed Mario Karts ever. So my question, and you don't have to answer all of them, but what do you think that one more thing would be, or not that one more thing, but what do you think that big reveal would be for a game like Mario Kart World or a game like DK Bonanza?
I'm gonna go with what you talked about last week. I think you can get out of the cart in this game. Not during the races or anything like that, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of bring in what I said too. I think you're gonna be able to create or have your own little home or plot of land in this world where you can get out and you can use your collectibles you find to just, I don't know, display stuff or something like that.
Mhm.
How deep and far that goes, I don't know. Or if you're gonna be running around with your friends, in this little hub area. But I think you're right. I think something to do with them having the animations of them outside of their vehicles, which I don't think they've ever done before.
Mhm.
I think that's pointing in something where you can get out of the vehicle. I don't think it's going to be, will you be platforming with Mario or any of the other
Yeah.
characters in certain areas? Probably not. But I think there's something to being able to get out of the vehicle.
Yeah.
And that
Or
excites me.
even if it's at like specific spots,
Yeah.
and it might not even be that intricate or that deep of a mechanic. Maybe it's like you go to a scenic spot and you can meet up there with your friends and get out of your vehicle and like hang out and have kind of a little hub to socialize.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a possibility though. I think that'd be
Yeah.
very cool.
With DK, I just don't know if we've seen enough of this game. You know, I don't know. I don't see us getting in like anything like else major. Other than maybe, I mean, because they don't really have side quests, because it really is like Mario Odyssey with like where just everything is.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I know like the world is like packed full of like secrets and stuff like that. Um, I don't know. I'm not quite sure with DK. I mean, with it you be able to essentially destroy anything and everything. Um, yeah, I just don't know it. And it's kind of the same with Metro Prime. Like, I don't really expect anything like major that's going to be like a major game mechanic either.
Hmm.
Um,
I
and
don't.
I would be happy to be you know blown away by something like that. I just can't think of anything.
Yeah.
What about you? Anything that comes to mind?
With Mario Kart World, aside from what I said last week, I think there is going to be like a big single player campaign.
Okay.
Maybe it's something to do with Rainbow Road, or like I don't know, because they haven't really revealed like a Rainbow Road for Mario Kart World,
Yeah.
so maybe it's something to do with that. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's something for whatever reason you're having to travel to different points of the map to find something like I don't know, building Rainbow Road or something.
And this is just now coming to me, but like maybe if they're gonna have other characters from the Nintendo World like universe, like maybe there's like warp points where you can like literally warp into like Tears of the Kingdom map or something like that,
Oh
and
god.
drive around, and then you'll warp out at some point. That could be really cool. Who knows if that's actually going to be a thing, but that could be really interesting. That would be awesome.
Going off of that, so it's called Mario Kart World. I think there's going to be other continents
Yeah,
outside
could
of
be. Yeah,
just this main continent that has like the 25 tracks or whatever. And
Yeah.
and maybe that's something that they talk about being added for free in DLC, or maybe it's something that's like
Yeah.
that has its own big reveal. But I don't know. I do think there's going to be something story related that they're going to weave it, like that they're going to use the open world to push forward.
Yeah.
Because it can't just be, oh, you drive around, you find secrets.
Yeah, because like,
Whatever.
what are you using this for? Are you trying to unlock characters? Are you unlocking new like car parts? Like,
Yeah.
it got to be something a little bit more than just that.
Right.
So yeah,
For
and then maybe DK, like, I don't know, maybe there's like a character like a Yoshi something, or I think I saw something about Rosalina maybe potentially being in this
Pauline.
game, or yeah, Paulina. Sorry,
Pauline.
Paulina. Maybe she's in the game potentially.
Hmm.
So I
What would
don't know.
what would that gameplay mechanic be?
I'm not
'Cause
sure.
Yeah, what was it, like the Brazil version of it had her holding on to Donkey Kong, whereas the other one had like that little rock guy.
Yeah,
So
that's what it was.
maybe there's some sort of mechanic there. Maybe there's some sort of transformation mechanic where you get like different abilities.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of weird when you can destroy everything. So it's not like anything can help you explore better, since you can already climb up anything
Yeah,
pretty much. You can already destroy
maybe like
the
a
terrain.
glider or something like that, or
Yeah,
I don't know.
glider. Yeah, that's a tough one, because like Mario Odyssey had the Cappy mechanic where you
Yeah,
take over creatures. This one, I feel like there's gonna be some sort of reveal, but they've already had.
it's like
I,
so. My question is like all the currency you're collecting. Like, what are you
what is
using
that
that
for?
for? Like, it can't be just like a Mario World kind of thing where you need so many stars to progress. Like, it's got to be something more. Whether
Hmm.
that's like new cosmetics or something like that. That we don't.
Yeah, maybe
That's
it's just outfits that you're
yeah.
buying,
That could
because
be
they
it.
did show him wearing different. Like they showed him wearing like two different outfits,
Yeah.
something like that. So maybe that's what it's used for, but I feel like it wouldn't have been as prominent. Like, I don't know. I feel like there needs to be something else to it.
Yeah. I think there will be. I just don't know. Like, I just don't know enough about like Donkey Kong to guess what could potentially be in the game as like another feature,
Mhm.
or like unlock, or like some sort of vehicle you use, or whatever the case is. I'm not quite sure.
And we know they have the 2D segments, so we know
Yeah,
that
definitely
those
have
are going to
those.
be in there. But yeah, I'm curious on what else they could add. Not that they have to have like, oh my god, this is a crazy mechanic, or this is a crazy reveal. Uh, but I think that's been Nintendo's mantra lately of having the initial reveal and then having the blowout,
Yeah.
and really showcasing what the game is.
Do you
We'll
think
see.
we get a Donkey Kong Direct?
I don't think so. I think we'll just get like a final trailer
Yeah. Kind of review or
sometime in
something.
like late June.
Okay. Makes
Um,
sense.
and then for Prime 4, maybe they have like an open, not an open world, but like an open air, like open areas, kind of like Indiana Jones or Avowed, where you can just kind of go off the beaten path and do whatever
That
you
would be
want
really cool.
before you
Or like
progress.
maybe being able to like fly the ship. That would be pretty cool. Like have a flying
Or just have
section,
levels where, yeah, where you fly.
or like a jetpack would be like pretty sick too. Just something like that.
Yeah, I was watching a video earlier, and they were talking about multiplayer
Yeah,
potentially being in Metroid Prime 4. That would be awesome. Like
that
having
would be
just like
cool.
kind of an offshoot multiplayer mode that's like low stakes, like something like that would remind me of the Conduit
Yeah,
on the Wii. Like,
I mean that could honestly be like something big that they reveal because we don't know if that's happening or not. I mean, I know it's been kind of speculated. And did Metroid Prime 3 have multiplayer at all?
3 did not,
What
but
about
2,
Echo?
I think 2 might have had
Okay,
multiplayer.
I don't know how good it was or anything like that, but yeah, I think yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like I said, maybe some sort of flying section or maybe a jetpack or um some other item like some other like new type of item too. Like
Mhm.
the Metroid series, it does get kind of like it's kind of samey with like the weaponry and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's always cool when you get the stuff like, uh, but yeah, I don't know. I think like having like being able to fly the ship at some point, or like you said, like having like a hub world or something like that. That's larger. That kind of like in like The Last of Us Part Two, where there's like that open area that you can kind of go on and go into random buildings and do side quests and stuff like that. Something
Yeah.
along those lines would be I think would be really cool.
I'm so interested to see how this game, see how it
Yeah,
shakes out compared to the other ones. Like what has all this development time been for? Has it been for, optimizing it for Switch 2 or Switch 1, or just getting it ready for a dual release? But
yeah,
it's just, it feels weird that we've seen so much gameplay of Metroid Prime 4 at this
yeah,
point.
yeah.
Yeah, we still don't know.
Still went on a release date.
Yeah, still don't have a release date. Still don't know much about it. I mean, the treehouse stuff. I mean, that was the very beginning of the game. So Samus didn't even have like the psychic abilities yet. So those
Yeah,
weren't showcased. And we really haven't scratched the surface with this
yeah.
game yet.
I don't know. I assume we'll get a reveal or at least a release date soon.
Yeah.
And then I'm still curious if there's going to be like another big game from Nintendo because like Donkey Kong comes out in July, Mario Kart's obviously a day one or a launch
Mhm.
game, Pokemon's probably like November, and then Metroid I don't know maybe like August October something like that.
And we don't know when Kirby Air Riders is, do we?
Yeah, we don't have a release date either for that one.
Okay.
Which that one's I don't know that one's a little bit weird like another racing game like in the same that one's a little bit weird to me. I felt
Yeah.
like that they could have pushed that one maybe to next year, but maybe it'll be different enough. I mean, I never played the first one, so I don't quite know, but maybe it'll be different enough for Mario Kart. But again, like I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a little bit of a conflict of interest there. Like you have like
Yeah.
the biggest racing game in the world, and then you have Kirby
One
Air
of the most
Riders.
niche racing games in the world.
Yeah, exactly. So will that be enough
Yeah.
to pull away people from Mario Kart? And is that game going to be $70 or six? Who knows what that is, or is it free to play? That could be kind of interesting. I doubt it, but
I doubt it.
that,
Yeah.
that could be cool. So I don't know. I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited for the Mario Kart stuff coming on Thursday, just to get some more information about it.
Are
So
you still planning for day one?
yeah, if the price doesn't go up, if it stays at 500, I'm in. And assuming we can get it and it doesn't get delayed or anything like that. But yeah, if it gets a price hike, I don't know.
Yeah.
I want it. I want it. I mean, I'm very excited for it, but I mean, if it jumps up to like $600, nah, I don't know.
What if it was 600 for the version with Mario Kart? Would you bite?
I think if it's gonna be 600, like they Mario Kart, and then it better come with that stupid uh
Switch to
tour or
Welcome Tour.
whatever. Welcome tour, yeah. Like, come on. I'm
Oh
still waiting
man.
for them to like um announce that that's actually gonna be free. A
Yeah, they
packet
need to
inside.
walk back on that one.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I feel like we'll hear some more concrete stuff on Thursday after the Mario Kart Direct.
Yeah, that would be a good time. Get people
Yeah.
excited and say, "Hey, pre-orders coming up next week or whatever."
Yeah, next week, end of the month. I mean, there's still time. I know it's coming out in less than 2 months
Yeah,
at this point, but I mean,
we'll see.
yeah, we'll see.
Hopefully the
I'm not
price
I'm
doesn't go
not
up.
worried about it.
Yeah. Let's move on to so over the weekend on Saturday. Bungie did a live stream showing off Marathon. Nick, did you watch the stream, and what are your takeaways from it?
I watched a little bit of the stream. I watched the gameplay reveal trailer. You know, I'm not excited for this game. I
No.
might try it out depending on the price. I know it's not going to be a $70 game, but it's not going to be free to play. It sounds like it's going to be in the Concord pricing area, probably around $40.
50 bucks. Yep.
But dude, I hate to say that this is not going to be a success, but I just don't know like what the audience is. And I honestly, I don't know if it's going to do well. But that's not to say that the gameplay itself doesn't look fun, because it looks polished. Like it's a Bungie game. Like they make games with a really, really compelling and great gameplay.
Yeah.
But like there's only 3 maps. There's no story. Like what are we doing? what are we doing?
Yeah, I'm not going to say this game is going to be dead on arrival, because it's Bungie and people are going to be curious about, regardless of what type of game it is. I think if this game, if it stands a chance to do well, they're going to go free to play with it, whether that's before launch, if they're getting all the feedback from the community, or after when nobody's playing the game.
Yep.
I think I don't know. Really don't understand what's going on with PlayStation. Did they not learn their lesson with Concord? Concord being $40 is a crazy ask. That game should have been free to play to the jump. From the get go, and I think a lot of more people would have played it, because the game is not Concord was not a bad game. It was just what there wasn't really anything new that they were offering, and they were also charging. And look, we in the landscape that these game developers have pushed onto us is that all multiplayer games are live service games. They're free to play. They got extremely lucky with Helldivers. They got very lucky. But the conversation around Helldivers when it came out is nobody was saying, "Oh, this game should be free to play," right? It was a live servicey game, but none of the conversations were, "Oh, I'm not going to pay $40. It should be free to play." Nobody was saying that.
Yeah.
The conversation when Concord launched is, okay, yeah, this should be free to play, and that's the conversations going on now with Marathon. So $40 plus game that's going to have a battle pass, it's going to have microtransactions, and it's also an extremely niche genre, being an extraction shooter that not a lot of people play in the first place. So it's got all that stuff working against it. I really hope PlayStation just announces it free to play before it does launch, because I think all momentum is going to be killed when it launches. And then I'm afraid for Bungie. I understand, Bungie is a legendary studio in the gaming space. They haven't been my favorite studio since they kind of left the Halo franchise. I never really cared for Destiny. I'm not a big live service person like that. For games that I personally think should just be single player games, I would be way more interested in Destiny. I understand that I can play it single player, but it feels empty to me playing by yourself. But I'm very, very nervous about Bungie, because PlayStation themselves set that precedent with Concord, and they shut that thing down in like 10 days and then shut the studio down. So like that's the precedent that they set. And now we're going into essentially the same exact thing with a more niche genre. I don't know.
When does it launch? Does it have a release date?
I think it launches in September. I think they're doing a beta in July, and it launches in September.
Yeah, September 23rd.
And I'll be honest, like the gameplay looks fine, but like I don't love the art style. It looks just very uninspired to me.
I thought the art style looked pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean it's okay, but I just don't know if a lot of people that are fans of the extraction shooter, because you have Escape from Tarkov, which is like more of a realistic kind of military shooter. Then you have Hunt Showdown, which is kind of like a horror-esque extraction shooter. I don't know of any other ones that come off the top of my head, but I think that art style is gonna turn some people away. I don't know. I just feel like this game has a lot to going against it, even though it's Bungie, and I know people are going to be curious.
Yeah.
I just feel like just do it. Let it be free to play.
Yeah, the odds. Sorry, the odds are kind of stacked against it, and you're right. Like, aside from Escape from Tarkov, I can't think of another game that's an extraction shooter. Yet I always hear about games chasing this trend as if it was like a battle royale, as if it was like that
I
level
think
of success.
yeah, and I don't think that it is. Like I know Escape from Tarkov is pretty popular, but there's been nothing else that's really spun off and as like you have like your PUBG kind of started it, and then you had Fortnite getting in there very quickly,
Yeah,
and then doing their own thing with it, and then you have Apex Legends doing their own thing with it. So you have these really popular games spun off of the royale genre, and a lot have failed. But those kind of the big three, right? PUBG, Fortnite, Apex. Is there another one that I'm missing? I think it's the big three
I mean
for those.
Warzone
Yeah,
is a big
yeah,
one.
Warzone. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm can't let him forget Warzone. But yeah, so those big four games, um, yeah, we don't really have that with the extraction shooter genre, unless I'm just not thinking of one. Um, so I mean, and maybe Marathon is the one to tap into it and does very
yeah.
well, but
Maybe
who
it's an
knows?
untapped market. Maybe it's
No.
not something that we prefer to play, but maybe there is like this big craving for an extraction shooter.
Yeah, and I don't think Hunt Showdown and Escape from Tarkov are free to play either. I think you have to buy that.
Okay.
So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe fans are already kind of expect to have like a certain price to get into it, and then you kind of go from there. But I don't know, you know, with PlayStation and this live service initiative, and it's just been kind of an abysmal failure. Just I don't have high hopes. I don't trust the process with PlayStation right now when it comes to those games, those types of games.
No, I don't. I mean, but I want this game to succeed. I want Bungie to
Yeah,
do well. I want them to keep making games and to have big successes like Helldivers 2, even though they don't really know what made it successful. it,
no, I mean it was
it
just
it
goofy and
wasn't the fact that it cost money to buy. It was just
yeah,
like it went viral. Like that's like honestly, that's the truth of it. It
yeah.
went
It was
viral.
viral. It was memeable. It was
Yeah,
funny.
super memeable,
It was
funny
very
game to
it was
play.
a
Yeah,
zeitgeist type game. So yeah, they kind of struck lightning in a bottle with that one. But yeah, like I said, like you said, like I don't want it to fail or anything like that. But I just it's hard to get excited for something that you could potentially not be around in a month because PlayStation decides to kill it. So
yeah.
we'll see what happens. Nick, you want to read the last story and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah. Lastly, and this comes from Nate the Hate and Jeff Grubb, who've both corroborated this rumor. But apparently, I mean, this has been going on for a long time. But Oblivion remake allegedly coming next Monday, April 21st. Sure, like it seems very possible that it
It's
comes
been
at any
rumored for a
point.
long time.
Been rumored for a long time. We're past South of Midnight's release. We are still prior to Doom, Doom
Doom,
the
yeah.
Dark Ages. I know that's this. Is that the same week as Claire Obscure?
Doom is May 15th, and Claire is
Next week, right? Claire's
next
next
week,
week.
right?
Yeah,
God,
it's coming up, dude.
I can't wait, dude.
Yeah, banger.
I've been so loving turn-based games right now.
Yeah, and a shorter one too. It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
30
yeah.
hours. Can't wait for that one. But yeah,
I think this. I mean, obviously, this has been rumored for so long. I think this could absolutely happen. I mean, and a Shadow drop too. So
mhm.
and it's if it's from what I heard, it's a decent remake. I don't know what all they're doing to it, if it's still going to have all the same bugs in the original game that
Right.
made it kind of quirky and weird. Um, whether that will still be in there, we don't know if it'll just be a prettier version of that. Um, I'm very curious about it. I have not been on the Bethesda train in quite a while. So I'm very curious. Oblivion is my favorite one of these games. So I'm curious to go back to it and see how it holds up, or if I'm just completely out of the Bethesda
You might
combat.
be.
And yeah,
I
and I
mean,
have a feeling that I am.
yeah. My expectation for this remake is that it plays on par with Skyrim, and I
Yeah.
don't think that that's gonna. I don't think that's gonna resonate as well as it would have, 10 years ago if they would have remade Oblivion back then.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, I'll play it. I'll try it.
Yeah.
I played through Oblivion when it,
Yeah, Oblivion was excellent,
was
and like
out,
the Knights of the Nine DLC and Shivering Isles, like some of the best RPG DLCs I've ever played. So yeah, I'm very curious to see how this one holds up for me specifically. With just not love Skyrim, obviously, but Starfield, didn't love that one.
No.
So I mean, I enjoyed Starfield. I mean, I beat it a few times with its weird ending kind of thing.
I put like 50 hours into it.
Yeah, I put a lot of time into it. I didn't do everything, but I also didn't really feel compelled to do every faction either. Where in Oblivion and Skyrim, like I absolutely did. So maybe it's just a sci-fi thing. Like I just don't, and I'm not like the biggest Fallout fan either. So like maybe it is just a sci-fi thing that I don't love because I love Avowed. So maybe it's the high fantasy is what I prefer if I'm going to be playing these types of games.
Yeah. But you like Mass Effect.
I love Mass Effect, but Mass Effect isn't first person, and maybe
That's
that's and like the dialogue is a lot better, I think, and like the way the way you choose a dialogue, I think it's not as goofy. Like that zoom in is like, oh my gosh, like
it really does kill the seriousness of the game.
It takes you out of it. It really does.
Yeah, it does a good job at reminding you that you're playing a video game.
Yeah. And like it's funny back in the day, like hello there, like what can I do for you? Like
it's funny,
like, that was very funny back in the day. And it's still funny now when it happens, but like I don't know, just just Starfield just didn't.
Maybe that's more of a testament to us than it is to Bethesda. Maybe we grew up, but Bethesda didn't grow up with us.
Well, but I think that's kind of like the same sentiment like across the board right now. I don't think people like loved Starfield. I mean, there's some people that did, obviously, but I don't feel like it was like universally loved, like Skyrim was back in the day. And Oblivion,
but that was because Skyrim was like they were one of the only ones that did something like that, like a big open world where anything could happen. Like it was funny when something crazy happened.
Yeah,
because
and like
you never see that.
Fallout 3 and 4 were maybe not so much of 4. Like I think people prefer 3 over 4.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I'm very curious to see how I gel with this game, with it being remade.
Yeah,
it's a great game.
Well, not long to wait.
Not long to wait.
It's true.
All right, guys. Well, I think that it's going to wrap up episode 260 of the podcast. We'll be back next week. Probably talking more South of Midnight, maybe some Xenoblade X for me if I get back into it. But then we'll definitely be talking about the reveal for or the direct for Mario Kart, and then I don't know, maybe we'll get some pre-order news. Hopefully, that would be nice. I mean, we know that the pre-orders are going live on Nintendo's website at May 8th?
May 8th. Yeah, that's when the first batch of invites gets sent out.
Also, what is going on with gaming journalism right now? Like, why can't anybody get it right?
Oh my god. Like that has been on their website since the reveal of the Switch.
Yeah, like
and then
IGN posted
to pick it up a week and a half later.
And then today, like Insider Gaming also like put out some misinformation as well, like about the GameCube controller. Like only
IGN did as well.
Yeah, only being compatible, but like it literally says like that same text like on all the controllers. So it's like, what are we doing? Like, do we not look into anything? Is it just Switch 2? We've got to put it out there.
Yeah,
it's very frustrating.
Misinformation drives engagement. It sells more than the correct information does. So,
but they don't even double down. They delete their posts because they got called out. Mr. Jake Randall will call him out quick, or Mr. Prime.
Man, Jake and Prime are doing the Lord's work.
They got a full-time job on Twitter right now.
Dude, Nintendo needs to hire them because they're doing some free labor right now.
Exactly. Yeah. It's helping them out tremendously, and they can use it right now with everything going on.
All that misinformation, confusion.
Pricing is crazy.
Yeah.
Man. I wonder. Did you talk about last week if they're like kicking themselves about like just release it last year instead of this year? Didn't you bring that up?
I did.
Yeah, I bet they're kicking themselves in the foot about that with that.
Like, damn, we could have just launched with less stock on hand, and not have stockpiled as much and gotten ahead of these tariffs. But now we're playing catch up.
Yeah,
we'll see how it all turns out, but
we'll see.
I'll be there day one. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll be back next Monday. Hopefully, everyone has a great week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.